TBB Rocking Crew, Fahrenheit 75.
What made you make TBB into a rocking crew? What made you want to change it from the graffiti crew into the famous rocking crew that we know now?
Everybody always asks me the same old interesting question. And one thing about what I say is that my history is always the same. And 20 years could pass by and I'm still going to tell you what it is according to the Bronx Boys Rocking Crew's history. What made me change the graffiti crew into rocking was the fact that we used to be up rocking and we used to write graffiti. And my little man TT Rock was up rocking, right? He was up rocking, doing his little circle thing, and he went to do a 360-degree move in the air. And he literally fell to the ground. It's almost like the theory, like the guy who discovered gravity when an apple fell to the ground. It's almost incredibly to believe. So little TT Rock fell on the floor, and we all threw ourselves on the floor trying to mimic it. His unfortunate fall, because when you fall, what's the first thing you do? You try to do something to save yourself from falling. So when he fell, we thought he was going to break his behind, and he didn't. He did some awkward moves, but it was fascinating. So we jokingly laughed at little TT, and I threw myself on the floor and started doing this crazy thing that we didn't even know what it was, but it caught everybody's attention. It caught everybody's determination to know that that was something that was going to be evolved. When I say this story to people, people's like, "But what? I mean, where does this come from?" Exactly, just like the apple that fell from the tree and the guy discovered gravity. So there's a lot of amazing things that happen in life. And I try to tell people this, but it's so profound that a lot of people aren't even ready to accept maybe just the statement itself simply because this thing is a whole global thing. I didn't even know it was going to get anywhere. Because back in the days, the Bronx Boys Rocking Crew, we didn't even know that really we was just a bunch of wild kids running around with guns and dancing and doing bad things. And it's amazing how it has transpired into something so beautiful and so positive these days. So what made me change, back to your primary question, what made me change the Bronx Boys Graffiti Crew, which I wasn't even the press of, pretty sure a lot of people know it was Cash. The reason, because right after that fall, we changed it into the Bronx Boys Graffiti Crew to the Bronx Boys Rocking Crew. Because now we was experimenting these crazy moves that we're trying to figure it out, or we're trying to come to a solution to see if we can make some kind of a dance out of it. Ironically, by 1976, it started spreading like a rash throughout the Bronx. And before you know it, you had all these crews coming out. It wasn't no breakdancing, no. It was called rock. Why? Because the dance itself emerged from up rock, which is the dance that people used to do back in the day. You know, we used to diss each other, do the little turnaround thing, you know. You flip your man, you got a shotgun, you shoot the guy. It was almost like fighting without the violence. So if you ask me about the history of top rock or up rock, I'm not going to give you that much information. I got people older than I who could tell you how that formulated. I'm talking about the history of the Bronx Boys Rocking Crew. And all these schools started coming out. None of them said breaking. None of them said breakdancing. Every shirt said rock on it. Star Child of Rock, one of the first crews out there that Track 2 came up with, he formed it right there with the Bronx Boys, because if you ask me, he is. Star Child of Rock is basically the second B-boy crew ever. Does he realize this? I don't know. But just for the record, I don't know where the Sasso thing came from. Like I've been telling people, I was never Sasso, with all due respect to the brothers and respect to Track 2 and everybody else. I'm not trying to hog up this culture, because it's not about me. It's not about the Bronx Boys Rocking Crew. If you want to get technical, all the credit goes to the founders of the hip-hop culture, which is Afrika Bambaataa and DJ Kool Herc. Whatever they're going through in their little personal terms about that subject, to me, they're both the founding fathers. So I'm not hogging anything up. I talk about our history. We are the Bronx Boys rocking crew. A whole bunch of little wild dudes that used to smoke dust, do bad things, go to jail. This is what the Bronx had back in the days. A whole bunch of burned down buildings and poverty, degradation everywhere. Most of my people passed away, went to jail, and this has transformed into something so amazingly incredible, and I gotta give it. People want to bow to me, people want to call me king, and I'm not none of that. The credibility of today TBB Rocking Crew goes out to you guys, the new generation who took it and ran with it and turned it out into something that's very constructive and that's helping the communities throughout these community centers. And I want to say thank you for that.
Did you have any influences, people who you looked up to?
Yes. In fact, Afrika Bambaataa, you know, the Zulu nations. Wow. They fascinated me because be mindful, they was around before TBB. And when I used to go to the Zulu jams, it was just Zulu Nation and the big organizations of people doing their thing. Meaning they used to dance the freak, you know, in the 73. This is a time when the DJing still was being added to. The cuts, the mixes, the elbow, you know, everything came into play when Afrika Bambaataa and DJ Kool Herc gave birth to this culture. And we became the supporters of the foundation when we used to go to the jams and start rocking. And yes, one of the primary reasons why I came out with TBB was because of Afrika Bambaataa. It fascinated me to see so many people, and it fascinated me to hear that they had a founding father named Afrika Bambaataa. Came out and turned the black space into the Zulu Nation. He was tired of the bullshit. He was, excuse my word, he was tired of the negative. So he turned the Zulu Nation for a cause, for the community, for the people. And to some degree, I tried that, but I wasn't as organized as this brother was because he was just much older than us with much more experience. You know, we was just young kids. We used to smoke dust, dance, and just run around like a pack of hyenas. And I can't sugarcoat anything. I got to give it to the people raw to understand that this culture started out with a bad fuse that has turned it into an extraordinary, beautiful energy today. So in 1977, it's been said to me that Afrika Bambaataa forgot this. In 1977, Afrika Bambaataa called me for an interview by the Webster Project, going up the stairs by Webster. And when I got there with Bond 2, and I got there with my man Pisces, you know, and I approached them because I was asking the kids around there, yo, who's Afrika Bambaataa? They said that big guy right there sitting on the ledge of this bar. And I go up to him and I say, excuse me, your name is Afrika Bambaataa? And he's sitting on this thing and he goes, yeah, what's up? Because he looked at us like we just little young kids. Be mindful, he's older than us. So I said, you called me here for an interview. He said, wait a minute. Who are you? I said, my name is Batch. I'm the president of TBB Rocking Crew. And he started laughing. He said, wait a second. You telling me that's your crew out there? And I said, yeah, you said to get me, right? I remember this by heart. You look through my commentaries, I'm saying the same thing I'm saying now because it's a historical moment to me to have a meeting with somebody who I admired. And he politely got himself together and he apologized and he got up and he said, listen, this is your words, Afrika Bambaataa. What you said to me in 1977, he said to me, you think that it could be possible that your crew, your people, and my people could combine for the safety of all the little young kids in the schoolyards? So I'm looking at this guy that I've been looking up to for a long time, but never met him. And I'm like, so I look at my two vice presidents and they're like, and I said, listen, no problem. You know, what do you want me to do? I tell him, and he said, just let your people know that from now on, when we see each other in them jams, that we together to look out for one. I said, no problem, Afrika Bambaataa. And that was the last I've heard from him.
Would you say that was one of your favorite TBB memories? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, no, there ain't one favorite experience that I had with this fascinating crew. Even though we was up to no good most of the time because we did a lot of bad stuff, but we also did a lot of good stuff that we wasn't credited for. You know, we used to look out for the neighborhoods. You know, the old ladies coming upstairs with their packages, we used to help them up. We used to do good things, but we was at the same time confused young kids who used to know nothing but street life, hanging out in abandoned buildings, robbing anything that we could rob to survive. Because a lot of us just grew up with problematic, you know, family ties. You know, so if you look in the histories of the Bronx, it's just, you know, especially in the 70s when the economy was so twisted, one of the most hardest time for the Bronx was 1975 when the economy really dropped. You can look that up and it's in the histories. The most people that suffered the most out of the whole New York City was the people that lived in the Bronx.
Do you have any messages for the future generation of TBB?
Actually, not just the TBB nation, not just the Zulu nation, and all these other crews out there who are doing so many positive things for the world, actually. I want to give a shout out and much respect on a global scale on every single young person, older crowds who are involved in this beautiful culture of ours, who are involved in helping their communities through these dance art forms of rocking. And I admire every single one of you guys out there that could do a difference in society. If it's not for 100 people, if we could change the minds of 2 young people and anywhere we go for the better, that's what I expect to do and the people to do through this culture. Help one another, lift one another, learn how to live with diversity, peace, love, unity, and respect. Though none of us is perfect, not even the laws are perfect. Even, let's say, the mighty God, Jesus Christ, was tempted at one time. So we as human beings, we just vulnerable. There's no discrimination in my book. Because of the lifestyle that I lived, I could relate to practically anything in life. I know what it is to live in a cage. I know what it is to lose loved ones, friends. I know what it is to be beat down by the police. Police brutality was crazy off the hook back in the day. And I'm not justifying anything that's wrong. All what I'm saying by this is that we could all make a difference just by doing something that's constructive and positive and that could coincide with everything around us in a very beautiful way.
Thank you for your time.
Can I ask you one last question?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is TBB important to you?
Oh, wow. Let me say something. TBB is very important because it has a substantial, powerful energy that come together like the bees in a hive. This amazing TBB Rocking Crew Nation, which is also now, I have the Fahrenheit 75, which pertains to the history of this foundation. I have to say that I got to give it to my brother Abby. Because if it wasn't for Abby, this nation would not be back around. Just like if it wasn't for Crazy Legs. Oh, I love Crazy Legs, I love him. Because if it wasn't for Crazy Legs in the 80s, bringing back this culture out, TBB probably would not exist neither. Because Crazy gave it life. Crazy Legs gave the culture life. So this discrediting this brother in any form. I just want the people in the world to know, number one thing, this dance name is not breakdance, people. It's called rocking. Do your history. I got over 50 commentaries out there. I put all my energy, all my truthful thoughts to it. Okay, while I was behind bars to let the world know what this dance is all about. Some people don't want to say, or they even get confused when they find out that Rocksteady Crew actually was one of the main crews that emerged from the Bronx Boys rocking crew. Rocksteady Crew is one of the most popular, even more popular than TBB, because they've been there. Crazy Leg has carried that for a long time. So we cannot take anything from the poster child. But fellas, I'm always going to speak the truth. And if there's somebody out there that could tell me how this whole dance started, please welcome me. We could sit down and you might be able to teach me how this started. And I'm saying this not to sound sarcastic, but I'm saying this in a very respectful way, because if you have another story about how this dance came about, I really want to know. Peace, people. I love you all of us. Peace. 75 here. Fahrenheit 75, baby.
Lived a life that's full many times.